Welcome to Alley Picked, and today's quick tips for sanding this wood floor. So I'm about to refinish this floor in a bedroom in my house. Sorry about the echo, but I removed all the furniture and everything else in this room so the noise just bounces off the walls. But I wanted to refinish this floor, which has been neglected and beat up for years. It's in desperate need of a new finish. My first thought was to rent one of those big and bulky large sanding machines and an edge sander, which I've done before. Then I thought, why can't I just use my Orbital sander? My second thought was, that'll take forever. But will it?
Sand the floor. Sand the floor.
I tested this on a small area of my floor. In less than an hour, I cleared about 30 square feet. I estimate that in about 3 to 4 hours, I can probably have the rest of the room sanded. This is a good time to interrupt this video to bring you an important message. This method will work if you intend to leave the floor natural. In other words, no stain. Depending on the condition of your floor, an orbital sander might not remove enough of the surface to provide a sufficient and even stain tone. In other words, if I stain the wood after using the orbital sander, it has a tendency to look blotchy and uneven. Now, my floor in particular, because it's been abused and neglected for so long. Your floor, it might be different. So just test a spot before you decide to stain the whole floor, which is what I did, and I wasn't satisfied. So I left it natural. Now, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm using 100 grit sandpaper to remove the finish. I bought this large pack of Diablo paper. I found them to be sufficient, but not great. They work really good for the first few minutes, and then before long, they start to lose some of their bite. It's also very important to remove all of the old wood filler between the boards if it's loose or crumbling, and vacuum it up so it doesn't fall back into the cracks. Then of course, replace it using a floor wood filler, which I troweled on using this drywall tool. Once it dries completely, I sand it off using 220 grit paper. The last step before applying the finish is cleaning the floor. I used paint thinner on a rag. You can even follow this up with a tack cloth if you like. Once the floor is clean and dust-free, you can begin applying the finish. I bought a gallon of oil-based polyurethane made for floors. This stuff dries quicker and stinks less than normal polyurethane. I gave it 3 coats using a 4-inch brush. The instructions say that I don't need to sand between the coats as long as it's reapplied before 10 hours, which is exactly what I did. I think the floor looks great. Total cost was under 60 bucks. So that's my quick tip for today, using an orbital sander to prepare your wood floor for sanding and finishing. There are some pros and cons, which I'd be happy to tell you as soon as I get out of this room because I can't stand the echo. Well, that's a lot better. So the cons have to do with the quality. I wasn't able to sand the floor deep enough to get out all of the scratches, which is why I didn't stain the wood. You see, every imperfection would have stood out. Now, I suppose I could have sanded the floor for another 8 hours, but I didn't want to do that. The pros are that I saved myself $100, and I didn't have the inconvenience of lugging that heavy equipment back and forth to the hardware store. The floor looks really good. It's a definite upgrade from the way it was. So please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if that's your thing, and thanks for watching Alley Picked and today's quick tip.